I have seen it destroy generals, senators, kings, men who had everything: power, wealth, influence, the loyalty of thousands. Men who had built something real, something that mattered. And then the ego arrived. And quietly, without them even noticing, it took everything back. My name is Marcus Aurelius. I ruled the Roman Empire for nearly 20 years. I commanded the most powerful military force the world had ever seen. And every single day, I fought the most dangerous enemy I ever faced. Not a foreign army, not a political rival, my own ego. Today I want to tell you what I learned from that fight. Because the ego does not announce itself. It does not arrive with a warning. It whispers. It flatters. It tells you that you are special, that the rules do not apply to you, that your success is entirely your own doing. And by the time you realize what it has taken from you, it is already too late. Let me explain what the ego actually is. The ego is the part of you that needs to be seen, that needs to be right, that needs to be admired, that measures its worth by comparison to others and feels threatened when someone else succeeds. The ego is not confidence. Confidence is quiet. Confidence does not need the approval of others because it is rooted in something real, in values, in effort, in character. The ego is the opposite. It is loud, it is fragile, and it is always afraid. Afraid of being wrong, afraid of being ordinary, afraid that without the title, without the recognition, without the external validation, there is nothing left. I wrote in my journal, if someone can prove me wrong and show me my mistake in any thought or action, I shall gladly change. I seek the truth, which never harmed anyone. It is only persistence and self-deception and ignorance which does harm. That is the antidote to ego. The willingness to be wrong, the willingness to learn, the willingness to put truth above the need to be right. Most people cannot do this. The ego will not allow it. Here is how the ego destroys you. And I want you to listen carefully because it does not happen all at once. It happens in stages. The first stage is success. You achieve something real. You work hard. You sacrifice. You build. And the result arrives. People notice. People praise you. And for a moment, it feels like confirmation, proof that you are exceptional. But the ego takes that moment and stretches it. It turns a result into an identity. Instead of thinking I did something good, the ego tells you I am special. I am different. I am above the ordinary. And from that moment, you stop learning. Because people who believe they are exceptional stop asking questions. They stop listening. They already know the answer. They are, after all, exceptional. This is where the destruction begins. The second stage is entitlement. Once the ego has convinced you that your success makes you special, it begins to convince you that you deserve more. More recognition, more deference, more credit. You start to resent criticism. You start to surround yourself with people who agree with you. You stop tolerating feedback because feedback feels like an attack on your identity. And slowly, quietly, you become isolated. Not physically, but intellectually, emotionally. You lose the ability to see yourself clearly because the ego has built a wall between you and the truth. I saw this happen to men I admired, men who started with genuine greatness and ended with nothing but the illusion of it. The third stage is the fall. It always comes. The ego is not sustainable because it is not rooted in reality. It is rooted in the need for external validation. And external validation is always temporary. The title disappears. The praise stops. The results decline. And the person who built their entire identity on being exceptional has nothing left to stand on. I have seen powerful men collapse completely when their power was taken away. Not because the loss was so great, but because they had never built anything beneath the power. The ego had consumed everything real. So how do you fight it? The Stoics had a practice. They called it staying small in mind even when large in position. No matter how much power or recognition I accumulated, I returned every morning to the same truth. You are one man. You are temporary. Your achievements are not yours alone. They belong to the people who taught you. the circumstances that enabled you, the luck that favored you. Take credit only for your character, for your choices, for your effort. Everything else is borrowed. I wrote this to myself as a reminder. Do not indulge in dreams of what you do not have. Instead, count the blessings you do have and think how much you would want them if they were not already yours. Gratitude is the ego's natural enemy. It is impossible to feel genuinely grateful and genuinely superior at the same time. Here is what I want you to take from this. Your ego is not your enemy because it makes you confident. It is your enemy because it makes you blind. Blind to your own mistakes. Blind to the contributions of others. Blind to the gap between who you think you are and who you actually are. The greatest people I have ever known were not the ones with the most power or the most recognition. They were the ones who remained curious, who remained humble, who could sit across from someone with less experience, less status, less of everything, and still learn something. That is not weakness. That is the highest form of strength. Because it takes real courage to say I was wrong. It takes real courage to say I do not know. It takes real courage to let go of the need to be right, to be seen, to be exceptional. And it takes real wisdom to understand that the moment you stop needing to prove yourself is the moment you become truly powerful. The ego tells you that you need it, that without it you will be nothing. Do not believe it. The truth is simpler and far more liberating. You are already enough, not because of what you have achieved, not because of what others think of you, but because of what you choose to do with the time and the life you have been given. That is what the Stoics understood. That is what I tried to live every single day. Not perfectly, never perfectly, but with intention. And intention, in the end, is everything. If these words reached something in you, if even one part of this shifted something, then follow this channel. Every week we return to the ancient voices that still speak the truth, because some wisdom does not age. It only deepens. I will see you in the next one.